First year 2021 edition, page number 722, section 3, rapid review, classic labs or findings. Labs or diagnostic finding is on the left side and diagnosis or disease is present on the right side. So let's begin from the first point. So giant B cell with bilobe nuclei with prominent inclusion, that is All's eye. The diagnosis is Reed-Steinberg cell or Hodgkin's lymphoma. Reed-Steinberg cell in Hodgkin's lymphoma. Reed-Steinberg cell in Hodgkin's lymphoma. Giant B cells with bilobed nuclei with prominent inclusion. Giant B cell with bilobed nuclei with prominent inclusion. Giant B cell with bilobed nuclei with prominent inclusion. Bilobed nuclei with prominent inclusion, giant B cell. Giant B cell is present. Giant B cell is present with bilobed nuclei with prominent inclusion. Sheets of medium-sized lymphoid cells with scattered pale, tangible body-laden macrophage. Sheets of medium-sized lymphoid cells. Sheets of medium-sized lymphoid cells with scattered pale, tangible body-laden macrophage, or starry sky histology. Starry sky histology. Starry sky histology. Burkitt lymphoma. Burkitt lymphoma. T814 CMYC activation associated with Epstein-Barr virus. Starry sky made up of malignant cells. Sheets of medium-sized lymphocyte cell with scattered pale tangible body laden macrophage. Sheets of medium-sized lymphocytes cell lymphoid cell. Sheets of medium-sized lymphoid cell. Sheets of medium-sized lymphoid cell with scattery pale tangible body laden macrophage. Tangible body laden macrophage. Starry sky histology. Burkitt lymphoma, T814 CMYC activations associated with Epstein-Barr virus. Starry sky made up of malignant cells. Lytic or punched out bone lesion on X-ray. Lytic or punched out bone lesion on X-ray, that is multiple myeloma. Lytic punched out bone lesion on X-ray, multiple myeloma. Monoclonal spike on serum protein electrophoresis. Monoclonal spike on serum protein electrophoresis, that is multiple myeloma, usually IgG or IgA. Multiple myeloma, usually IgG or IgA. Multiple myeloma, usually IgG or IgA. Waldenstrom macroglobulinemia, IgM. Waldenstrom macroglobulinemia. Waldenstrom macroglobulinemia. Waldenstrom macroglobulinemia. The next one is monoclonal gammopathy of undermined significance. 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 Stacks of RBC, Rowlax formation. Stacks of RBC, that is Rowlax formation. It is due to high ESR or multiple myeloma. It is due to high ESR or multiple myeloma. Eosinophilic peroxidase positive granular inclusion in granulocytes and myeloblasts. Eosinophilic peroxidase positive granular inclusions in granulocytes and myeloblasts. Eosinophilic peroxidase positive granular inclusion in granulocytes and myeloblasts, that is APL. Eosinophilic peroxidase is positive granular inclusion in granulocyte and myeloblasts. Eosinophilic peroxidase positive granular inclusion in granulocytes and myeloblasts, that is APL. WBC that looks like smudged CLL, chronic lymphocytic leukemia. WBC that looks like smudged CLL. Tennis racket shaped cytoplasmic organelles, electronic microscope in Langerhans cells. Tennis racket shaped tennis rackets tennis racket shaped cytoplasmic organelles. Tennis racket shaped cytoplasmic organelles in Langerhans cells. There is Borbeck granules, Borbeck Birbeck Birbeck granules, Langerhans cell histocytosis, Langerhans cell histocytosis, Langerhans cell histocytosis. Soap bubble in femur or tibia on X-ray. Soap bubble on femur or tibia on X-ray. Soap bubbles in femur or tibia on X-ray. Soap bubbles in femur or tibia on X-ray. Soap bubble on femur or tibia on X-ray. Soap bubble in femur or tibia on X-ray. Soap bubble on femur or tibia on X-ray. Soap bubble appearance is giant cell tumor of bone. Giant cell tumor of bone that is generally benign. Soap bubble appearance on femur or tibia on X-ray. Giant cell of tumor of bone, generally benign. Raised periosteum creating a Codman's triangle. Raised periosteum creating a Codman's triangle. Raised periosteum creating a Codman's triangle. Aggressive bone lesion. Aggressive bone lesion. Osteosarcoma, Ewing sarcoma. Aggressive bone lesion. Osteosarcoma or Ewing sarcoma. Osteosarcoma, Ewing sarcoma. Aggressive bone lesion. That is Codman's triangle, raised periosteum. It is aggressive bone lesion, osteosarcoma, Ewing sarcoma. Onion skin periosteal reaction. Onion skin periosteal reaction. Onion skin periosteal reaction. Onion skin periosteal reaction. That is rheumatoid that is Ewing sarcoma. That is Ewing sarcoma. Onion skin periosteal reaction. 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 Ewing sarcoma. Malignant small blue cell tumor. Malignant small blue cell tumor. Malignant small blue cell tumor. Ewing sarcoma. Anti-IgG antibody. Anti-IgG antibody. Anti-IgG antibody. Rheumatoid arthritis. Systemic inflammation. Joint pannus. Boutonniere and swan neck deformity. Anti-IgG antibody. Anti-IgG antibody. Rheumatoid arthritis. Rheumatoid arthritis. Rheumatoid arthritis. Systemic inflammation. Joint pannus. Boutonniere and swan neck deformity. Boutonniere and swan neck deformity. Boutonniere and swan neck deformity. Rheumatoid arthritis. Systemic inflammation. Joint pannus. Boutonniere and swan neck deformity. Rhomboid crystals. Rhomboid crystal present very fringent rhomboid crystal positive birefringent. Rhomboid crystal positive birefringent. Rhomboid crystal positive birefringence. That is pseudogout calcium pyrophosphate dihydrate crystal. Calcium pyrophosphate dihydrate crystals. Pseudogout calcium pyrophosphate dihydrate crystal. Calcium pyrophosphate dihydrate crystals. Pseudogout calcium pyrophosphate dihydrate crystals. Needle shaped negative birefringent crystal. Needle shaped negative birefringent crystal. Needle shaped negative birefringent crystals. That is gout. It is present in monosodium urate crystal. Monosodium urate crystal. That is gout. Needle shaped negative birefringent crystal. Rhomboid crystal positive birefringent. That is pseudogout calcium pyrophosphate dihydrate crystals. Anti-IgG antibody. Anti-IgG antibody. It is rheumatoid arthritis. It is present in systemic inflammation, joint pannus, Boutonniere and swan neck deformity. Increased uric acid level, that is seen in gout, Lysian syndrome, tumor lysis syndrome, loop and thiazide diuretics. Increased uric acid level, it can be seen in gout. Increased uric acid level seen in gout, Lysian syndrome, loops and thiazide diuretics, tumor lysis syndrome. Bamboo spine on X-ray, ankylosis spondylitis, ankylosing spondylitis, chronic inflammatory arthritis, HLA-B27, SLAB27. Anti-nuclear antibody ANA, anti-Smith and anti-DS DNA. Anti-nuclear antibody ANA, anti-Smith and anti-DS DNA, that is seen in SLE type 3 hypersensitivity. Anti-neutrophil cytoplasm, anti-neutrophil cytoplasm, anti-neutrophil cytoplasm, anti-neutrophil cytoplasm, anti-neutrophil cytoplasmic antibodies ANCA, anti-neutrophil cytoplasmic antibody ANCA, that is seen in microscopic polyangiitis, eosinophilic granulomatosis with polyangiitis, primary sclerosing cholangitis. So ANCA positive seen in microscopic polyangiitis, eosinophilic granulomatosis with polyangiitis, microscopic polyangiitis. So polyangiitis will be present like polyangiitis, different types of polyangiitis, that is microscopic polyangiitis, eosinophilic granulomatosis with polyangiitis, eosinophilic granulomatosis with polyangiitis, granulomatosis with polyangiitis, granulomatosis with polyangiitis, primary sclerosing cholangitis, primary sclerosing cholangitis. Anticentromere antibody, anticentromere antibody, anticentromere antibody, anticentromere antibody, anticentromere antibody, it is seen in scleroderma. Anticentromere antibody, anticentromere antibody, anticentromere antibody seen in scleroderma, that is CREST syndrome. Anticentromere antibody, scleroderma, anticentromere antibody, that is seen in scleroderma, anticentromere antibody, that is seen in scleroderma, anticentromere antibody seen in scleroderma, CREST syndrome. Antitopoisomerase antibody, antitopoisomerase antibody, that is seen in diffuse scleroderma, anticentromere antibody, that is seen in scleroderma, anticentromere antibody seen in scleroderma, CREST syndrome. Antitopoisomerase seen in diffuse scleroderma, antitopoisomerase antibody seen in diffuse scleroderma. Antidesmosome antibody, that is seen in pemphigus vulgaris, blistering. Antidesmoglein antidesmosome antibody, antidesmosome antibody seen in pemphigus vulgaris, blistering. Keratin pearls on skin biopsy, squamous cell carcinoma. Keratin pearls on skin biopsy, squamous cell carcinoma. Keratin pearls on skin biopsy, squamous cell carcinoma. Keratin pearls on skin biopsy, that is seen in squamous cell carcinoma. Keratin pearls on skin biopsy, that is seen in squamous cell carcinoma. Keratin pearls on skin biopsy, that is seen in squamous cell carcinoma. Keratin pearls on skin biopsy seen in squamous cell carcinoma. Increase AFP in amniotic fluid or maternal serum, that is increase AFP in amniotic fluid or maternal serum, that is dating error or anencephaly or spina bifida, open neural tube defect. Increase AFP in amniotic fluid, increase AFP. So this is increase AFP in amniotic fluid. So there is a decrease AFP level also, which I have read recently. So let us check it out from there. That is decrease AFP in amniotic fluid. It is Down syndrome or Edwards syndrome. All right. So increase AFP. There is decrease AFP in Down syndrome. Increase AFP that is present in dating error, anencephaly, spina bifida, open neural tube defect, bloody or yellow tap on lumbar puncture, that is seen in xanthochromia. Bloody or yellow tap on lumbar puncture, 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 it is seen in xanthochromia. Bloody or yellow tap on lumbar puncture, bloody or yellow tap on lumbar puncture, it is seen in xanthochromia. Bloody or yellow tap on lumbar puncture, that is seen in xanthochromia due to subarachnoid hemorrhage, Eosinophilic cytoplasmic inclusion in neurons, that is seen in Lewis body, there is a Lewis body. Eosinophilic cytoplasmic inclusion in neurons, eosinophilic cytoplasmic inclusion in neurons, eosinophilic cytoplasmic inclusion on neurons, It is a Lewy body. It is seen in Parkinson's disease, Lewy body dementia. Extracellular amyloid deposition in gray matter of brain, that is senile plaque. It is seen in Alzheimer's disease. Extracellular amyloid deposition in gray matter of brain. Extracellular amyloid deposition. Extracellular amyloid deposition. Extracellular amyloid deposition in gray matter of brain. Extracellular amyloid deposition in gray matter of brain. Extracellular amyloid deposition in gray matter of brain. Extracellular amyloid deposition in gray matter of brain, that is seen senile plaque. Extracellular amyloid deposition. Extracellular amyloid deposition in the gray matter of brain, there is a senile plaque. Extracellular amyloid deposition in a gray matter of brain, that is senile plaque. It is in Alzheimer's disease. Senile plaque, it is in Alzheimer's disease. Eosinophilic cytoplasmic inclusion. Eosinophilic cytoplasmic inclusion in neurons. Eosinophilic cytoplasmic inclusion in neurons, that is Lewy's body. It is in Parkinson's disease or Lewy body dementia. Bloody or yellow tap on lumbar puncture, it is xanthochromia. Due to subarachnoid hemorrhage, SAH. Increase AFP and amniotic fluid or metatarsus cell, it is due to anencephaly, spinal bacteria, open aortic defect, or it is due to dating error. Keratin pearls and skin biopsy, that is squamous cell carcinoma. Anti-desmoglein antibody or anti-desmosomes, that is pemphigus vulgaris. Anti-topoisomerase antibodies. Anti-topoisomerase antibodies. Anti-topoisomerase antibodies. Anti-topoisomerase antibody. Anti-topoisomerase antibodies. Anti-topoisomerase antibodies. Anti-topoisomerase, anti-desmoglein, anti-desmosomes antibody, anti-desmoglein antibodies, anti-desmoglein antibodies, pemphigus vulgaris. Anti-topoisomerase antibodies, it is diffuse scleroderma. Anti-centromere antibodies, scleroderma. Anti-centromere antibodies, scleroderma. CREST syndrome. Anti-neutrophilic cytoplasmic antibody. Anti-neutrophilic cytoplasmic antibodies. ANCA, microscopic polyangiitis, eosinophilic granulomatosis with polyangiitis. Microscopic polyangiitis, and eosinophilic granulomatosis with polyangiitis. Granulomatosis with polyangiitis, primary exclusion, cholangitis. Anti-nuclear antibodies. ANCA, anti-Smith and anti-dsDNA, ANA, that is anti-Smith antibodies. Anti-nuclear antibodies, anti-nuclear antibodies, anti-nuclear antibodies, SLT type 3 is FSNP. Bamboo spine, that is on X-ray, ankylosing spondylitis, chronic inflammation, arthritis, SLP27. Increase uric acid levels, it can be seen in many cases like gout, Tay-Sachs syndrome, tumoritis syndrome, and loops or thyroid diuretics. Needle shaped negative birefringent crystals. Needle shaped negative birefringent crystal, it is seen in gout. Monosodium urine crystal, MSU. Rhomboid crystal, positive birefringent, it is seen in pseudogout. Calcium pyrophosphate dihydrate crystals. And anti-IgG antibody is in RA, rheumatoid arthritis, systemic infections, joint pains, Boutonnet spine deformity. On skin periosteal reaction, it is Ewing sarcoma. On skin periosteal reaction, it is in Ewing sarcoma. On skin periosteal reaction, it is in Ewing sarcoma. On skin periosteal reaction, Ewing sarcoma. Malignant small blue cell tumor, Ewing sarcoma. On skin periosteal reaction, Ewing sarcoma. Raised periosteum, that is creating a Codman's triangle. Aggressive bone lesion, osteosarcoma, Ewing sarcoma. Codman's triangles, that means sarcoma. Just remember osteosarcoma or Ewing sarcoma. Codman's triangle, raised periosteum, aggressive bone lesion, osteosarcoma or Ewing sarcoma. So suboptimal appearance in femur or tibia in X-ray, that is giant cell tumor of bone. Generally it is benign. Tennis racket shaped cytoplasmic organelles in Langerhans cells. Tennis racket shaped cytoplasmic organelles in Langerhans cells, that is Burbick granules. Tennis racket shaped cytoplasmic organelles in Langerhans cells, that is Burbick granules. WBC that looks like smudged CLL. WBC that looks like smudged CLL. Azurophilic peroxidase positive granular inclusion. Azurophilic peroxidase positive granular inclusion in granulocyte and myeloblast. It is aurot. Stacks of RBC Rolex formation, that is a higher ESR, multiple myeloma. Monoclonal spikes on serum protein, electrophoresis, that is multiple myeloma, Waldenstrom macroglobulinemia, monoclonal gammopathy of undetermined significance, monoclonal spike on serum protein electrophoresis, multiple myeloma, Waldenstrom macroglobulinemia, monoclonal gammopathy of undetermined significance, lytic punched out bone lesion on X-ray, multiple myeloma, seeds of medium-sized lymphoid cells with scattered pale tangible body laden macrophage, starry sky histology, seeds of middle-sized lymphocyte lymphoid cells, seeds of middle-sized lymphoid cells, seeds of middle-sized lymphoid cells with scattered pale tangible body laden macrophage, starry sky histology, seeds of medium-sized lymphoid cells with scattered pale tangible body laden macrophage, starry sky, Burkitt lymphoma, Burkitt lymphoma, CMOC activation associated with Epstein-Barr virus, starry sky, made up of malignant cells, seeds of medium-sized lymphoid cell, seeds of medium-sized lymphoid cell with scattered pale tangible body laden macrophage, seeds of medium-sized lymphocytes, seeds of medium-sized lymphoid cells, seeds of middle-sized lymphoid cell, seeds of middle-sized lymphoid cell with scattered pale tangible body laden macrophage, lymphoid cell, medium-sized lymphoid cell with tangible body laden macrophage, starry sky histology, Burkitt lymphoma, giant B cell with bilobed nuclei with prominent inclusion, giant B cells with bilobed nuclei with prominent inclusion, giant B cells with bilobed nuclei with prominent inclusion, giant B cells with bilobed nuclei with prominent inclusion. That is Hall's eye, Reed-Steinberg cell, Reed-Steinberg cell, Hodgkin's lymphoma, Reed-Steinberg cell, giant B cells with bilobed nuclei with prominent inclusion, Hall's eye. Thank you.